What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fine Saturday. Got the Final Four, got all kinds of great stuff going on here, a little basketball later, but we're here to talk some birds, baby. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, back again, talking a little bit about that money right there with this man, Howie Roseman. So, we've been talking. Obviously, I keep you up to date with all of the money, but the past week, we've been keeping up with this. And I apologize. There is a Ricky Bobby convention going on across the street. Flipped out on him before I came on. But in case you hear, don't worry. I'm not revving up, planning on leaving you or anything like that. It's just Ricky Bobby across the street. But appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. But you guys have seen those shows from the last couple of days where I break down how the cap works, how these cap hits are affecting the Eagles, and how much cap space we actually have. Because you hear it. I hear it all the time. People trying to tell me, well, you don't have the cap space for your draft picks. Well, Jalen Hurts extension. And it's like, man, if only you understood how those things worked, would I take what you have to say with any kind of value. But wow, it's crazy out there how much people just follow these narratives, and I don't understand it. So what I try to do is break it down so that these people can maybe learn something. I'm not sure. I know that they usually get upset by this kind of stuff, but it's like, look, man, I'm not trying to upset you by putting out facts. I'm trying to help people understand these things. So each and every one of you that enjoys this stuff, I thank you. And thank you for all the kind words as of late. Look, I'm doing my best to keep up with all of it. And as I said, a lot of those numbers, I will give you when it's my estimate or when it's a real number, but I'm trying to keep you up to date with all of that stuff. Right now, if you look, it looks like the Eagles have $20 million, right? Well, let's talk about that Hurts extension. Let's talk about Kentavious Street cap hit not going in. And let's talk about that draft when we will draft players and their cap hits will affect it. But I think the misconception is that every single draft pick is going to affect your salary cap. That's incorrect. And you have to know the numbers. And I have the cap hits for all of our draft picks. So therefore, I'm able to figure it out and able to relay that information to you. And the hope is that others continue to follow suit and we change the game here because it's just been old, So let's talk about that 20 million, right? This is where it all stems from. So, we talked about the cap space we have. We know all the notable cap hits there. We're going to talk about Kentavious Street. Go check out those older videos if you're looking for more of an explanation. But we used that. And then we also used, all of those other graphics. I showed you how to get these things done. But with that cap space, you look at Jalen Hurts cap savings. You look at the draft pick cap hits and Kentavious Street. So I gave you the actual numbers here. And, I was, just giving you 2.6, 4 points, whatever. But I want to give you the actual numbers here so you see what's going on. So the estimated cap space is actually going to be around 17.8 million effing dollars. That's pretty insane, and it just keeps going up the more we actually get these numbers that Howie is figuring out. Now, if you're wondering how I got that Jalen Hurts number, here is his contract. You can go check out that show from last week where we talked about how his extension will actually end up saving the Philadelphia Eagles money. Talked about Kentavious Street, all those things. But the thing that people seem to be gripped up by is that draft pick, right? The draft pick cap hits that I was showing you here. Wrong graphic. This one right here. People are asking how I got that number, why I'm not putting it at 10 million, why I don't have it at 8 million, 6 million, whatever it may be. Well, I'm going to explain to you why I have this number, how I have this number. And it actually changed with, Marcus Mariota getting his contract. Now he goes into one of the top 51 players that affects the salary cap. So that pushes out one of those guys that was at the bottom for $940,000. So if you remember, there was 4 picks, the top 4 of our picks, number 94 being the last one. Those were the picks that actually affected our salary cap. Now that third pick is no longer going to affect our salary cap due to the fact that our lowest on the top 51, he costs more than that. So therefore, it doesn't even affect the salary cap. If you don't understand that, I try to simplify that and explain it as simple as I could. But please feel free to ask any questions you have. But that pick is no longer going to matter. So it is now those top 3 picks. So let's take a gander at these numbers, ladies and gentlemen. So here's what I'm doing. I'm not being like the media fans. I'm not going out here just taking all of the numbers, adding them together, and then taking it off the cap, because that's just not how it works. So you see here, pick 10, 30, and 62 are the ones with cap hits that go over what we have. So therefore, they will replace. They aren't just going against the cap, they're replacing. So we talked about that bottom three there, right? So 940,000 times 3, 2.82 million. You're subtracting that from the total of the draft picks. So you've got the cap hits. Now, one thing you have to keep in mind is Howie Roseman is the GM. So we could trade these picks. We could be moving back, moving forward. A lot of possibilities here. But if we stay still, those are the numbers. They will not change. Those will be exactly what it is. I promise I'm not lying to you. But you see here, when you subtract that number, that is the cap you need for draft picks. Not 7 million. It is $4,614,591. That's it. Not 10 million, not 8 million, not 6 million, $4.6 million. So therefore, that is how I got that number, where we looked at, if I could just click that, why I keep clicking that one. So you see here, when I took that 4.6 million and subtracted it, that is where I got that number from. So you see, I was adding Jalen Hurts, but I'm subtracting, the draft picks. Also, Kentavious Street, I don't see him being more than $1 million, $1.5 million of a cap hit. So again, he's just going to be replacing one of those guys. So at most, I see him costing $500,000 against the cap. That's not his actual cap hit. That's what it's going to cost us. So therefore, you add all those numbers to the current cap space that we have. That's with giving Jalen Hurts his extension. That's with signing our draft picks. You see that the Eagles have $17.8 million in cap space. So whoever's out there saying that we don't have cap space, tell them they could use a lesson in how the cap space works. Send them my way. I would love to keep destroying all these narratives the last few years. It has truly been my pleasure and my joy to do that. Love when you guys are tagging me and stuff. It's truly a pleasure to go out there and try to help people understand how this stuff works. And for those of you who actually enjoy it and want to learn, I love you, man. And I cannot thank you enough for tuning in and for asking your questions and for always, providing that support you do. I can't thank you enough. But you see the negativity, and I don't want to harp on it too much, but it's ridiculous. Like, don't you think these people, if they're getting hired or want to talk trash, they should probably have a basic understanding of how this stuff works? That's my opinion. But appreciate all of you tuning in. My man, Matthew, let's go. Yo, dude. And look, this is what I do each year. Try to break it down. Try to combat that negativity from the media, and a lot of the fans that don't know what's going on. You get your 95-1 or whatever it is, callers, and they're freaking out. Everybody's losing their mind. We don't have this. And it's like, who's telling you that? Does the person telling you that actually understand how this stuff works? Because I don't get it, because you've seen him in my videos, people trying to chime in. You've seen him on my posts. If you guys follow me on social media, always trying to tell me what I don't know. And it's like, that's great, man. If you could just show me the work like I'm showing you, then we could, get somewhere. But hey, look, I'm just here to, the motto, let them keep hating. I'll keep educating. And Matt, last time I talked to you, it was a rough time, right? But look, I really still believe, just the way I talked to you in that damn game, I still think that we're building something beautiful for the future here. And I think that Howie Roseman at the helm, that is clear as day, as that's what's happening. We talked about we're going to lose a lot of these starters. We knew that. We lost a lot of those guys. But look at what we've added. Every single person that we've signed from another team, none of them have over $2 million cap hits. All the guys we brought back, restructured, extended. You guys saw that. I showed you briefly there, but there are videos from the last week. I've made a new playlist. If you guys go to my YouTube, there are those for the roster moves, the coaching changes, the free agency stuff, whatever you're looking for. But now there's a new one. Show me the money. So if your heart desires, you want to know something about Jalen Hurts extension, the draft pick cap hits, about our salary cap space right now, there is a video that will point you in the right direction and have you smoking on these people. I'm telling you, I'm going to make you able to walk into any bar, any single grocery store, any bar mitzvah, any daycare, wherever you're going, and somebody wants to tell you about what they know about the Eagles. Well, I'm going to provide you with ammo to tell them what you know about those Eagles. So let them keep hating, man. We'll keep educating. And Matt, hope you're doing well, my dude. Love to hopefully get together. Hey, hope to see you during that draft at the link again this year. That was pretty effing awesome last time, but your ass ain't talking to me this time. You guys always saddling me. No, I'm just busting your balls, but it's awesome. That's the one problem I have doing that. In the past few years, I feel like I'm not focused. I'm eating so much food, always getting so damn griffed out and losing my mind. I'm better when I'm focused by myself, but I think that's why Billy does it. I'm not going to lie to you, but dude, look, I'm definitely going to be there. So I hope you're going to be there. It's going to be a great time. If I have any open spots, I will let those of you out here in the family know, like I did last year. And it's going to be another great fantasy draft. But I think the Eagles, man, we're in a prime position. We're going to go into this draft and we're going to smoke these people. And it's just funny hearing that we don't have the money. Like, not only do we have it, we've got even more money than we had last year. Like, if you think we can't trade for Jeffrey Simmons or Devin White, yeah, there's a video about that too. Also listed in Show Me the Money, because I'm showing you each one of their contracts and how the Eagles could trade for them, extend them, restructure, whatever, how much money would actually cost to get that person. So go check those out, Travis. I appreciate that, man. And I'm really just trying to do what I felt like there was no one else out here doing, right? It was just like, okay. I mean, I did all of the, I started doing the polls, the graphics, bringing on guests, and then everyone and their mom started doing it. So it was like, all right, what can I do different? How am I going to stand out that people can't take this? Now, they do. Obviously, they all become experts after I make these videos, but at least I know where it's coming from. You know where it's coming from. They all magically become experts right after it. It's like, oh, I wonder. So a big shout out to guys like Phil out there who are conveying where they get that information from, who is teaching them this information. So it's like, look, man, I don't mind doing this work, but it ain't going to be free forever. And luckily I get paid from YouTube now, but I'd like to actually get like really paid where I never have to work another day. And that's what it would be to me, because this is not work to me. This is pure enjoyment. But I love you too, brother. Appreciate you taking the time. Let's go. I was jamming out some heavy metal this morning as usual, but I was feeling it today, man. Voice is a little shot. I was getting into it, man. I really, some days just get into it, man. And I've got quite a playlist sometimes that YouTube goes into, and sometimes I just feel like I'm a young kid again, and I love it. But love you too, brother. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you got something from this video. If you guys have any kind of questions, anything that's on your mind, please feel free. I'll chill out here for another minute. You guys want to ask me anything, say anything, please feel free to do so. But the storms of Amondale are on their way. This computer's probably skipping out, losing its mind, so I apologize. But if it kicks me off, you know why. Draft number 5 for 5 and go get Simmons. What do you draft 5 for 5 and go get? Are you saying trade up to number 5? I don't think you would have to trade up to 5 to get him. I wouldn't take him at 10, but I wouldn't be against it if they do. So we've talked about this over and over again. There is so much talent in this draft. If you really like Bijan and you think there's a couple teams behind you that aren't going to take him, why not trade back a few spots, acquire another second, third round pick, whatever, take them. I'm not against it at all, but positional value, I am for knowing that. And I appreciate you, Sean. Yo, thank you for the sub. And look, I was just saying here, I got the playlists all cleaned up, and you guys, if there's anything you're looking for, the roster moves we've made this offseason, the coaching changes we've made, there's a video on every single one of those things. The salary cap, if we can trade for people, if we can sign for a big name person, there's literally a video for everything. And I always tell you, if there's something missing, there's something that you guys, want to throw in there, I mean, let me know. I'd love to explain something from you. If I'm not explaining something right, you think, whatever it is, I don't care. I love the constructive criticism. I want to hear it from you. I want to make this the best place to come, where you can watch the show and be like, you know what? I'm about to learn something. I'm about to walk out of my house today and be able to tell people something I wasn't able to earlier that day. That's what I try to do. What can I bring of value to you? And look, I know I'm crazy. I can bring that to you. I know a lot of you guys enjoy that, but try to bring that knowledge, dude. That's all. I want you guys to enjoy it. I want you to be able to be like, holy shit, like that makes sense, because this stuff, a lot of it is insane. I went to school. When I was in high school, like I had advanced math classes. When I was in college, I took accounting. Like this stuff, it's hard. It's complicated. Most regular people don't just know this stuff. That's why guys like Howie Roseman, it takes a long time to get to where they're going. I mean, it's really complicated. So it's weird to me that you see people that struggle with basic math trying to tell you about the cap. It's like, but I appreciate you, dude. And I hope you enjoy the content. I break everything down, man, from the cap to defensive schemes to how anything works to the roster. We just did an off-season outlook where talked about these impending moves, the cap that was going to go into place, our future draft picks, just everything your heart could desire. I've been going over this offseason just like I do every offseason. We went through the free agents you guys saw, and just the same way that I did that, I do the draft. So any of you new subscribers, I go through position by position. We'll look at all the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, offensive line. Then we'll do the same for the defense. We'll break it down position by position. I'll talk about what the Eagles have at that position. Then we'll talk about who are the day 1, day 2, day 3 guys. And I'll break down where I think the Eagles should be looking and who I think they should be looking at in this draft. So lots of content will continue coming your way throughout this offseason. But yeah, like here's an example here of that video. Like you'll see this just like for the quarterbacks. You will see that for every position. So you'll see the free agents we lost, who we've got on contract, if they were added from a different team, whatever it may be. Then there's stuff like the coaching staff, who all of our coaches are. I mean, if you're looking for information, well, you just found yourself that information. I mean, you want the depth chart already? Yeah, I've got one of those. I mean, you're looking for the free agency show, all the people we've added, anything like that. Yep, there's those too. So, I mean, whatever is on your mind, I have a show for it. I mean, you want to know how many draft picks we've got? Got that too. So talk about those 26 picks in the next 3 years. Talk about that cap space I just showed you. The Eagles have ammo, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to build ourselves another contender. But I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time. Hope you're having a great weekend. If anything happens, I will be back. If not, I will be back tomorrow. Bijan for 5 years, not at 5. Oh, well, you would have to play well those first 4 and get that 5th-year option. But, hey, best of luck to him for sure. Our possibility of the Eagles moving back or drafting a lot. Yeah, well, that's going to depend on how the draft goes. So impossible question to answer. But as I've said, if someone is at 8 that they like, and I see the media now repeating what I said last week, love it. Love when they finally tune in. It takes them too long, but it's like, dude, if we want to move up, we've got the picks. You saw it. We've got the cap space. We've got all the ammo to do that. But if you want someone like Bijan, you feel you're not going to take him at 10, you take him at 13, 15, whatever. You want to trade back? Sure. But I've also said the first person I ever named to you that would be the Eagles pick, probably Peter Skoronski. So, dude, there's a lot of possibilities. And Sean, if you love that kind of stuff, strap in, man, because next week it starts. I'm pumping out all of that content, and it is a lot. But I know you guys that tune in appreciate that. I know you guys like that in-depth stuff. I could follow the narratives and do that stuff each week, picking who they think the best guy is each week and just do that and just talk about the same things. But I prefer breaking it down my way. And if any of those guys have gotten who we're going to draft 4 years in a row, I'll start calling them experts. But until then, I'm going to keep doing it my way. We're going to see at the end of the day what happens. Now, I don't think I'm going to get a 5th in a row, but it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Why we signed Zeke? That did not happen. Today is April Fool's. Not sure if you're aware of that. And, on a day like today, let's start thinking about others, right? On April Fool's, let's think about those people. Think about what you're doing when you make stuff up. There are people out here in the media, content creators, 364 days out of the year. They build their brand by making stuff up. And now you think you can take just one day and steal their shine? It's just unacceptable. We got to care about those people. How do you think they feel right now watching you guys make stuff up for one day when they do it all year? Being very facetious. Hope you're all having yourselves a great day, though. I do got to get going out. If anything happens, I'll be back. But if not, until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. If you got anything from this, do me a favor and hit that like button. But until next time, you stay safe out there. Have a great weekend. And as always, say it with me. Go Birds!